Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 28th, and well, we got a little bit of support back after the debates were done. There was no major catastrophes on any side, reassuring the markets that things will be pretty much the status quo and that the current expectation is still viable. So decent as far as that goes. We also had rising steel coming off that move, though we still see shorts active in this, so there's strong short presence here. Now, this particular point, you don't have midterm and or long-term buyers active at this particular point in the US here. So we should still see some continued weakness within this bounce. But I mean, we really just haven't moved anywhere, and probably going to have some difficulties in the next few weeks, depending on how some polls move, could start to shift things. You already heard some talk, and I saw a few articles about having to change some of their allocations based on continual change in polls, and now the very likely viability of an extremely close election at this particular stage. So from an NQ standpoint, still slightly better than the others, but pretty much right back in the same channel of its own, just slightly elevated stature compared to the other markets. You can see here. Orange is falling. As long as that's happening, it's still weakness. If it pops back up, then you would have the resurgent. Now, ideally, you want to see it move below red if you're looking for another breakout long. So we're not seeing the breakout yet. It hasn't materialized. Now, the Dow outperformed the other markets, trying to catch up to where they're at. So this is that balancing that we've been talking about and we've been waiting for. So that's a good indication for stability going forward here. Let that pop up a little too high. There we go. Back to the euro, nothing, absolutely flat. Though still in a bullish configuration here with the cyan below red. And TLT, surprisingly, a strong move from here with the dip of the orange below the red. And you can see the effect of that along with the high steel. It works. I think they're crazy, but yeah, still, the signal's a signal. Nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen regardless of underlying fundamentals. Algorithm sees the opportunity and attacks it. Now, this is a sad one for gold because it had the nice dip below, but then immediately crossed back above and has been fading off that. Now, it was overbought early on, and I expected it to come back down and revisit the dip below the red line, but it's already getting oversold early, so could have a little bit of support going through here. There was our case chart. We talked about this from here. We got the peak move and ridiculous out of control orange level right there in the form of those algos, and it just sent it through, and boom, we had a nice decline off of that setup. We did see the beautiful buy configuration here with the orange moving below the red, just like that, nice and clean. Wasn't going to survive very long because you can see immediately upon its signal got overbought. It's a tough one to deal with because these can be short, decent bursts of 10, 12 points, but they're not going to survive. And treating those within our general configuration is a little more complex because one, the trend was not going to change. Two, the likelihood is all we were going to do is come up to the short algo, which pretty much is exactly what it did. Closed right above it and then boom, right back below it, and recycled. And then we had a couple of other brief buy signals came through there, and then a stronger one towards the end or late part of the day on the case chart. When the 5K was a little bit cleaner, we had the swift decline, and then boom, you could see it right here. It started right there with the close above the long algo at the same time, everything peaking. Even if you waited until you had the red just a little bit later, but you weren't going to get much of a change on the steel coming back below the magenta right there. It would have been about this level right here, 39 range. And it went all the way up to the 48. So again, it's just right in that range. Then we ended up with the same move back, and then boom, bingo again, another buy signal came up through there. Now the sell started very clean once the cyan got above, but it didn't produce that much of a drop until after hours right here. And then now it's finally starting to have a little degree of impact on it. So, but I'm back in LA and continuing on setups. I'll be updating indicators for sending out, and hoping to have this additional adjustment with the changes in the number one segment right here to reflect the bisignals as they pop in. First, the primary signal part, where at least it'll identify your dips below an orange, and then secondarily when the stealing dips below the 7.5 in a clean configuration that meets also the shakeout, stream histogram, so that we have viable connections with that, and that'll give us an adjustment within this segment. And I've also got the language made for the other segments as well. Still working with the one where we don't have notification, but at least we have the clear identifications from the DOC exactly what is necessary for those. All good. As always, though, to you to trade well, and we will talk during the day.